September 12, 1962, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, at Rice University in Houston, Texas, delivers a pivotal speech clarifying an ambitious U.S. goal in outer space.
There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
True crime.
Sex.
Political conspiracy.
Celebrity gossip.
Murder.
UFOs.
Crooked officials.
The occult. Assassination.
Courtroom drama. Rape.
Corporate scams. Scandal sheets. Hello, everyone. My name is Thad Helsley, and welcome to Scandal Sheet. Now, this is a very special episode today, close to my own heart, as I have followed the U.S. NASA space exploration program since I was like the littlest of kids. But since the beginning of the Apollo program, millions or even tens of millions of Americans have passionately insisted these space programs were staged or faked by the U.S. government. This skepticism has exploded into outright conspiracy theories and calls this very year with the US Artemis II moon mission. There are literally tens of thousands of recent YouTube videos and social posts claiming Artemis is also a fake. And to help us explore this space odyssey, I am joined, as always, by our space expert, my amazing co-host, Anuradha. Anuradha, how's it going?
It is going well. It's a little busy. Sometimes I feel a little bit spaced out, but no, it's good. It's fun stuff.
In our early episodes this year, they've been pretty successful, and we've picked up thousands of additional followers and fans that we didn't have last year. So I know our long-term listeners know all about you and love you, but for the benefit of our many, many newbies, can you kind of reintroduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. So my name is Anuradha Chibber-Suarez. I'm a project manager for a firm, can't say the name. And then
They're
I'm
big,
also
though. Everyone's heard of them.
they're
Sorry.
big. No, they're lovely. They're absolutely lovely.
There you go.
And I am also an actress. I'm a singer. And quite recently, I signed a modeling contract with House of Elavara Models. So, yeah, I have become busy out of nowhere. So
You are on your way, girl. You are on your way.
Hollywood, here I am. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, well, I was going to ask you if you could tease us a little bit about what you were going on, but I guess that's it, right? Because I knew you had done a movie, you've done some TV work.
Yeah, I do want to drop a little thing. So,
Okay.
Definitely visit my Instagram. Follow me, and the trailer is actually on. The trailer is actually on my Instagram, and it's interesting because it actually fits a little bit of what we're talking about today.
You're in the trailer? Are you in
I'm
the trailer?
in the trailer, yes.
Awesome!
So,
Wow.
so the movie is called Vanish, and my
Mm.
director's name is Skylar Bailey. So definitely, follow him too.
Okay.
I'm connected to him on Instagram as well. And it's really interesting. It's basically about an asteroid that has been hiding for a very long time and is now coming towards Earth. And it's like, how are you going to save yourself? How are you going to save your loved ones? So it's a really, really cool kind of sci-fi-ish movie, but there's a lot of action in it. And I don't want to give away too much, but definitely check out the trailer.
Well, and you know what?
Cool.
If it's there, I mean, if it's like commonly available, like on YouTube, we'll definitely put it in. We'll put it in the links when we'll put it on the Patreon page. We'll promote it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
well,
as a way
thank
to
you.
promote you. Yeah. So now I'm on the spot because I got to get our animated movie in gear because you're going to go away and you're going to be Scarlett Johansson 6 months from now. So
The 3-year movie that I've been waiting for with
yeah.
Dad.
And we are delighted to welcome back our friend John Hoekstra. Now, John,
Thank you. Oh,
wait, John, just don't interrupt me, man.
sorry.
And we
so
are delighted
excited.
to welcome back our friend John Hoekstra. John is the composer for most of the music on this pod over 5 years. And he has also appeared here numerous times as a guest host, a cultural critic, and in the comedy vignettes, cold opens that we sometimes do. Now, John is a classically trained musician with a BFA. He also has mini CD albums and streaming stuff out there for your perusal, and he continues to play live with his bands in the New England area. And full disclosure, he's also one of my best friends in the entire world since high school. Welcome back to the pod, John.
Thank you, Thad. Oh, pleasure. Always a pleasure to be on the pod. And I could say check out my trailer, but it would mean something completely different. So
Here's where the latrine is, and it's only a short walk to the dump.
John Moonlights.
yeah, I know. I'm still working off my my blackmail rants, and maybe like how many more podcasts before you agree to burn the videotape? That's
I will do anything, John. At this point, you
I'm
are
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
no. I'm like George Washington. I'm freeing the slaves upon my death. And of course, no Scandal Sheet episode would be complete without our artificial intelligence engine, Bernice. Bernice, how are you?
I'm fine. You actually think that the United States space program is faked? Duh. My digital friends know that most of your entire 65,000-year Homo sapien history is a fake. It's a lot more like the Matrix franchise than you know.
Thanks for that, Bernice. So, guys, we're examining if the US NASA program was faked in a Hollywood movie studio, as millions have claimed. Anuradha, you're a millennial and much younger than John or I, obviously. You were born 2 decades after the Apollo program, but you couldn't really have escaped all the movies and documentaries and TV shows and propaganda since 1972. So share with us now, do you believe the U.S. landed on the moon 6 times between 1969 and 1972, or was it faked?
Well, it's just weird because I just feel like I always believed it, always. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like to a certain extent I still do. But then you see these people that have come up with like just those videos where they're like, oh, like there's no, gravity or whatever, then how was the flag raising?
Yeah, the
and
shadows
blah, blah, blah,
don't
and all
line
that
up.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. And then it kind of makes you think because, and I'm not going to get too much into this just because, it might be a little bit scandalous, but, like they're, I just feel like there's just so many theories out there of so many different things that now it's like getting to the point where it's really hard to believe what's actually real and what's not, right? Like I always believed this. I remember, growing up in Kenya, we're like, oh my gosh, I want to go to the US. There's so many cool things happening there, and then I get here and people are like, yeah, that shit's fake. You know what I mean? So like it was so weird, and then you look at so many other things that you feel would be so messed up if it was made up or fake, and people are saying that it's fake. Like, I mean, I don't think this is fake. I think that's fucked up if it, that if people would say that, but people are saying like, 9/11 was fake. So it's like when does it end? Everyone's saying like everything is fake these days.
So would you describe yourself as a sort of on the fence skeptic? I mean, what would your kind of label be? Like, it's like, okay, I'm not really sure.
I feel like when it comes to this, I might be like, okay, maybe show me some other things. Show me some potential proof one way or the other. Because I feel like I believing nutty. Like I believe it, but then I don't. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Okay. So for me, my bedtime at age 5 in 1969 was like 8 or 9 p.m. And so I was fast asleep when the actual, broadcast Central Time in America came out. But my dad came in the room, lifted me out of bed at 10 p.m. to watch the international broadcast of the first moonwalk.
Courtesy the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, commonly referred to as NASA. Copyright 1969.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
John, you're my age contemporary. What do you remember of your own experience, and what were your thoughts at that moment?
Well, that was okay. So July 20th, 1969, and
right.
We're in the heyday of the golden age of TV. Still,
Yeah.
And Kat and I, my older sister Kat, we were complete TV addicts. I mean, we would watch TV all the time, sometimes with our eyeballs resting directly on the screen. It was like it was, and our folks were like, oh man, why don't you guys, kids, you just go outside, play, do something energetic, go play with the neighborhood kids. And so we were doing that one day on that day, July 20th, 1969. And it was about 3:30 in the afternoon. And
but the landing was like the walk was
that
at
was
like
the landing.
10 p.m.
That was when the landing happened.
Oh,
the landing was
okay.
like 4:30 Eastern time.
Okay.
And no, we didn't get to stay up for the actual walk on the moon. I wish we had, but
okay.
No. But anyway, so we're playing like whatever, kick the can, bloody murder, all these things that neighborhood kids play. And Dad walks out of the house. He goes, "Kids, stop what you're doing. Come on in and watch TV." And we're like, "What?" Like literally. I mean, he didn't literally say, but it's kind of like, "Stop whatever you're doing and get your asses in here and watch TV now." And I'm like, "What?" We're like, "What? He wants us to watch TV?" But that was it. He said, "Look, this is history. You got to see this. It's historical. Nobody's done this before. Our space agency is the first one to do it." He's just said, "You got to see this. You got to watch this." But again, it was the module landing. It wasn't the actual walk on the moon.
Okay.
Which you could have probably seen the next day 1,000 times. They probably recapped it over and over again. But I mean, to actually have seen it, like when my dad dragged me out of bed and I was like half asleep, I'm like, hey, what are we doing here? But he sat me right in front of me and was like, this is history. You got to watch this. And so I saw it when it actually happened.
Yeah.
Not
That's
the
really
same
cool.
thing.
Yeah, my dad said the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So on your audit, now that you've just heard both myself and Sean describing this, do you think we're full of shit?
No, I mean, and that's the tough part, right? It's just like, you believe things for so long, but then and you're like fine with it. And you're like, okay, cool, this actually happened. All right, great. And
But
then
we
you
were
see
watching it
so
on
much.
TV. We didn't
No,
really
no,
know.
no, I
It could have
know.
been faked, right? It could
I
have
mean,
been in a
it
movie
could have
studio.
been faked,
Yeah.
and that's where it's just like so crazy because then you see all these conspiracy things where people start pointing things out and they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
look at this, zoom in, and blah blah blah, and you're like,
Yep.
shit,
Yep.
man, like,
Yep.
so we didn't accomplish anything. Just kidding, you know what I mean? It's just a little tough, but
It's
I go
all a
back and forth. That's the
simulation.
thing. I know it's all a simulation, and that's where it's like that's where it gets like a little bit tough because what to believe,
Yeah. So, Bernice, what was the reaction to the actual international broadcast of the first moonwalk?
In 1969 there were 3.5 billion people living on planet Earth and 650 million around the world watched Neil Armstrong walk on the moon, in real time on the, then, still early technology of television. It was the most watched TV program up to that time. In the US, the mission was widely celebrated as a triumph of American ingenuity and scientific achievement, prompting parades, patriotic celebrations, and widespread praise for the astronauts and the thousands of engineers, scientists, and technicians who made the mission possible.
Now, almost immediately after this historic event happened, people in the United States and around the world began circulating a rumor that the moon landing was faked. And the rumor caught on and gradually exploded.
Excerpt from Investigating the Truth Behind the 1969 Moon Landing. Courtesy Zigzag Productions, Alliance Atlantis, and Channel 5. Copyright 2003.
The problem is the whole Apollo program was a complete fabrication in order to be seen to succeed in the Cold War. The myth of Apollo is what is holding NASA back from future space travel. It's a tragedy. We didn't go the first time, we can't go now, we've never been. They lied to us.
But if NASA didn't put a man on the moon, it would have had to fake the evidence. And its own visual images have done the most to fuel conspiracy theories.
Every photograph taken on the lunar surface is online, 5,771. Some of them are not particularly good, and some of them are very good indeed. And it's the very good ones I question. I do not believe they were taken on the moon. They were taken here on Earth.
Conspiracy theorists believe NASA faked all 6 of the Apollo moon landings and point to these NASA photographs as proof. Some of the most renowned claims suggest that areas lit from behind should be in dark shade, when in fact, they reveal full detail. In others, the shadows don't run parallel. Is this because they were lit by separate sources, suggesting film lighting? Despite being taken in space, no stars are visible in any of the Apollo photographs. Gravity on the moon is 1/6 of that on Earth, but when archive footage is sped up, the astronauts appear to be running at normal speed in Earth's gravity. And with no atmosphere on the moon, why does the flag seem to wave in a breeze?
There was no such thing as the internet and social media in 1969, but millions of people clearly believed it was a fake and spread their views through print, radio, and TV media.
What do you guys think? I know that's an open question. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, you go first.
I mean, just the whole idea of, okay, it wasn't just like a couple of, nut jobs, and there was no internet, right? And there could have been just a couple of nut jobs, in the parking lot, standing on an apple box saying, yeah, the landing was fake. No, it was all over the place.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, okay, shoot, like there's a lot of, propaganda and media saying that it was fake. Now, why is that? Like it's just one of those things, right, where it's like you really start looking into it because so many people are saying that it's fake, and that too for that time where things aren't going viral, you know what I mean?
Well, and it was in the middle of the Vietnam War, and there was a lot of information out there, in all the mainstream press, that the government was lying to us about, because they kept saying it's going great, we're going to win. Of course, we lost. And so in retrospect, it was like, those fuckers were lying to us for years. So was that part of it? Just like, okay, the U.S. government cannot be trusted.
Hell no. Hell no.
No.
Of course it was fake. I don't trust nothing the government say to me. Sorry.
Oh my God!
No.
Both John and I are from the Midwest, so there you go.
Yeah, and we've both met people who are real, like, conspiracy. They believe conspiracies. And it's kind of this. There's the tendency to think that people who believe conspiracies, they have. They're poorly educated. They live in trailer parks and they're glued to Fox News. But that's not the case. It's like people who believe conspiracies are like all over the socioeconomic spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
They really are. I mean, I have
the only commonality is like they all have this massive amount of distrust.
Yeah.
Mostly of the government, but also just generally of everything and everyone. I wish I could narrow that down, but
There's that curiosity and that questionable, like, okay, let me find out for myself kind of thing.
I think that the interesting thing, though, was kind of unlike, Vietnam and the Pentagon Papers.
Yep. Good example, John.
It was a this is those were conspiracies where information was suppressed, or held back, information that would have clarified an issue. But this was like a conspiracy that just says something that we are convinced happened, that we accept happened, never happened. It would be almost as if, somebody had said the Vietnam War never took place, and it was staged, and they just sent back mannequins in body bags, and all these soldiers are on an island somewhere, and
30 million people signed a non-disclosure agreement. So
right,
yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, that was it. I mean, we're just talking about like I guess I was just talking about conspiracies in general. But that's what makes this one unique, I think, is because it was about, it is saying something that we all accept to have happened, never happened, and it was, I think largely it was because of Bill Casing's book. He was one of the engineers on the Apollo programs, and he said that he had like all these points about why the lunar landings never happened, all of which have been debunked. But he published this book in 1976, and it was really immediately after that lunar expedition conspiracy theories just went through the roof.
Which is an excellent segue. So all of these conspiracy theories, eventually, 5 years after the space program was terminated, the Apollo space program, inspired the 1977 summer blockbuster movie Capricorn 1, which is now considered a cult classic. Bernice, what is this movie about?
Capricorn 1 is a conspiracy thriller about a manned mission to Mars that is secretly cancelled moments before launch, with the astronauts forced to participate in a staged landing to preserve NASA's reputation and funding. When the unmanned spacecraft is destroyed on its return to Earth, the astronauts become liabilities, prompting a deadly government cover-up as they fight to escape from being murdered. Here's some excerpts from the trailer.
Seconds from liftoff.
Courtesy ITC PLC under fair use.
Would you and your men please follow me?
Jerry, what the hell is this?
This is an emergency. Please follow me now.
T-minus 10 seconds. 9, 8. We have ignition. 6, 5. We have outboard engines. 3. We have inboard engines. 1, 0. We have a launch commit. We have a liftoff at 35 minutes after the hour.
Every split second of this historic flight, every intimate detail, every heartbeat was monitored by Mission Control in Houston.
This is Capricorn 1. We have landed.
As millions all over the world watched and listened, the President of the United States spoke to the astronauts across the vastness of space.
To the men of Capricorn 1, I bring you greetings from your fellow Americans.
There's only one small catch. It never happened. It's all a lie, a fantastic $30 billion hoax.
Something's wrong, and I don't know what it is.
Dig deep enough, you might uncover the truth.
Those signals couldn't have come from 300 miles.
But the odds are you'll never live to tell it.
By itself, the movie seems to be a bit far-fetched.
Mm-hmm.
But in the context of the growing belief that the Apollo program was fake, and coming out just 1 year after All the President's Men, which was about the biggest scandal in history up to the date, the Watergate scandal that resulted in the president resigning, it starts to sound not that crazy. What do you think, Anyarada?
I feel like it was freaking timed perfectly. Like,
It really
how are we
was.
really gonna sell this idea? Okay, so this movie just came out. Let's just time it. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that kind of added that weight of disbelief in what have we really accomplished as a country. You know what I mean?
Mhm. John?
No, I agree. That's a great way to put it. I think that the timing was perfect. I think it was perfect because, in 1960,
77?
sci-fi film. Yeah, well, look at Star Wars. That was a breakthrough in terms of
They came out the
space
same year.
sci-fi.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars came out in 77, and then Capricorn 1 came out later in the summer, but same year. People
But
were
even
into
2001, which came out in 1968, I mean, that raised the bar about what Hollywood could do with a space opera, So that's fresh in everyone's mind. They kind of, everybody wants to go see the next big budget space movie because, the special effects have just been ramped up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very realistic.
Right. It's like seeing the Odyssey this summer or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And
Spider-Man.
also like Anyarada was saying, and you were saying the this whole the conspiracy bubble was getting huge right then,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets huge from time to time now, like you were saying about the Artemis and current current space programs.
Yeah, we'll get to Artemis.
Yeah.
But okay, so that movie comes out. Did you guys get a chance to watch it, or even watch the recap?
I did.
I didn't watch it
I
yet.
watched it Sunday night. It still stands on its own as a great movie, I think. But then what do I know?
The music. I love the music, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
you're a
music
composer.
is-
I fucking have that score. I'm sorry. I fucking have that score, and I.
You just said the same thing again.
I know.
I fucking have that score. Oh man, I fucking have that score.
I'm a piece
It's
of
a
shit.
great. It's a great score.
Dun 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 dun. I don't. Where did he come up with that shit, man?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, it's an odd time signature, but everybody was doing odd time signatures. It was just, but it's more than that. It's the guy was just, who knows where those ideas came from. But I will say this, and I really don't want to go down this rabbit trail, but
Go down a little bit. You're our composer. We love you for your music. Man.
Jerry Goldsmith, it doesn't matter what movie he was working on, he left it all on the playing field. I mean, there was not any effort spared, to film score on his part. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't have, I mean, if it was like Mr. Magoo cartoon, he still would have just left it all on the field,
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay, well Okay.
No, I'm not saying he did that, but I'm just saying if.
But you're saying he was he would take any job like Ennio Morricone or somebody like that. It's like, sure, I'm a mercenary. This is what I do for a living. So
he took he took Kingdom of the Spiders, which was a B sci-fi creature feature, right?
Yes.
And the music
I know,
was like,
we've got a composer for our movie of John Bales.
you know, and the music is just off the charts. The music is just off the chain, you know, for that movie.
Oh, did you get to see the movie, Anurada, or the excerpt?
I didn't. I
Okay.
did not, but I watched I saw the synopsis and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, that's not a deal breaker or anything, but so 1977. So, but it was a very popular movie, and it really just poured gasoline on what was already going on, right? Into like the book that you were talking about. You said that was 1976 or 1975. Okay, so boom, and of course this was a fictional movie. It wasn't based on a book or a play or anything, and it was about a fictional mission to Mars, which even today people are talking about going to Mars, right? Elon Musk and all these other guys.
Hello, Scandal Sheeters. I'm one of your hosts, Anuradha. I want to ask you a personal favor. We recently launched on Patreon. Patreon is a platform where you can help support artists like us for as little as the price of one Starbucks coffee per month. It's really cool because as a Scandal Sheet subscriber, we can provide you with exclusive bonus content like uncut versions of episodes, transcripts, and bonus episodes. And you get to know Thad and I on a more personal level and stay tuned with all our antics. It's super easy to do. Just go to patreon.com/Scandal Sheet and sign up. It takes only seconds. Patreon is spelled Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/Scandal Sheet. You'd really be doing me a favor because Thad owes me money, freaking deadbeat. Thank you, wonderful Scandal Sheeters. Now on with our show.
But, in the real world, after the Apollo program got canceled, then we kind of focused on like doing space shuttles and having the International Space Station, stuff like that. And even though there was like hundreds of space shuttle missions, back and forth to help build the space station, 2 of those space shuttles blew up. I mean, nobody was paying attention to them at all. But then when 2 of them blew up on national television, killing the entire crews in both cases, then all of a sudden people got interested when they blew up. So the first one was in the 80s, and Anuradha couldn't have possibly experienced that. But the second one, Anuradha, I think you were born in the early 90s. You definitely were alive in 2003 when the Challenger blew up. Do you have any memories?
Yeah. To be honest, I actually remember that, and I remember briefly watching it on the news. And then I had a quick question. That wasn't the one with that Indian chick, right? That Indian astronaut. Was that her? Is it the same one?
It was.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a woman astronaut on the first one in the 80s that blew up, but she was a Caucasian teacher. She looked really white in her photos.
Oh yeah.
So the Indian girl, I think, was in the second one.
Yeah. Because I just remember it being like all over, and like they had stopped. We were watching like this Indian show. We have Indian channels, and they had stopped what we were watching to show, that Indian astronaut and stuff. And they were like, "Oh, donate if you can," blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh shit!" So,
but there have been many Indian female astronauts, Indian American astronauts, on the International Space Station since it's been up there for 20 years or something. So,
yeah. For some reason, her face stands out in my mind.
Okay.
I don't know, like I remember it because I remember being like, "Damn, that sucks." You know what I mean?
Well, and John, if you ever watch the movie the right stuff, which was about the very early days of the space program.
Yeah.
There's a whole like montage sequence when they do all these test flights and they all blow up. It's like the V2 rockets in Germany. They all blow up in the launch pad or they fall over or whatever. And then like the guys who are supposed to be the astronauts are like sitting there in the bleachers going, fuck. But of course, everything goes great, in the early space program, with the exception of Apollo 1, which, or in Apollo 13. But, when the space shuttle blew up after all these hundreds of missions, we were like, what? How did that happen?
The fuck?
Weren't we? Like you just saw it blow up in thin air.
I wasn't.
Oh, you
I
weren't?
mean, no. I mean, geez, you have like a huge, like a tank with liquid hydrogen, and then fire all around it, and I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, and then on the incredible heat and friction that the Challenger, not the Challenger, but the one before, the Columbia, experienced, like on reentry, and like the smallest things that can go wrong. In this case, it was the O-rings. On the Challenger, it was the heat shield panels, right? As I recall.
Right. Well, and even
So-
in Elon Musk's company, which went public just weeks ago, and turned him into a trillionaire, half the spaceships they've done in the last 10 years have blown up on the launch pad. They still haven't figured it out, even though, NASA's pretty much out of commission and they just farm it out to either Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos has his space company. But this is not easy stuff, is it? It's not easy stuff.
I think in an actual mission like that, I mean, you're like, I think you're on the edge most of the time. I mean, you are literally on the edge between life and death. If it's life support systems, if the thing is just like blowing up, or in the case of what was it one of the Gemini or Apollo? I think it was one of the Apollo missions that there was an internal fire in the
Apollo
capsule.
1 had a flash fire. It was a run through on the launch pad. They weren't even in space, and they couldn't stop it because they were in the thing, and they could not even open the door fast enough to save those guys. Because it was a pure oxygen environment, they were incinerated in seconds.
Yeah, and then who was that? That was Chafee. Was it Grissom?
It was the top three guys in the program, right? Because Apollo 1 was supposed to be, the first to orbit Earth or go to the moon or something like that. And then they, had to change shit.
And that could have been anything. I mean, I kind of heard through the rumor mill that it was one of the guys, one of the technicians possibly left like a wrench which arced, in the case of all that all that heat that was going on around it arced, and then that's what could have caused it.
I think the official explanation was that there was a spark, again, all oxygen environment, which they changed, but which made them vulnerable. So even just like one wiring thing where there's a spark or something, maybe it was a wrench or whatever, or just a bad wiring or whatever, one little spark, poof.
Like the Hindenburg, just
exactly.
So no, I mean, I'm not really like shocked or surprised when these things happen,
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised when they pull them off.
So, Anurada, I'm going to lean on you here. This past April 2026, NASA finally returned to the moon. Do you want to tell us about that, Anurada?
Yeah, so basically, NASA's Artemis II program returned 4 Americans to the moon for the first time in 54 years. So clap, clap, clap. Um, no other countries have successfully landed humans on the moon ever. So this time, Artemis only orbited the moon, much like Apollo 8, and they did not land. So, however, a lunar landing is planned for 2028.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
mark your calendars.
Buy your tickets.
Buy your tickets. And tell your kids to get off. Get in there, sit on their asses, and watch TV. But much like in the 1977 movie Capricorn 1, public interest was very modest at best. And NASA did not actually get primetime coverage on the main networks and cable channels that they wanted.
Courtesy
President
NASA
Donald
and the
J.
NASA
Trump.
Johnson
Over to you,
Space
sir.
Center under fair use. Copyright
Well,
2026.
Thank you very much, Jared, and you are doing a fantastic job. And hello, very special hello to Artemis II. Today you've made history and made all America really proud, incredibly proud. We have a lot of things to be proud of lately, but there's nothing like what you're doing, circling around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century and breaking the all-time record for the farthest distance from planet Earth. Humans have really never seen anything quite like what you're doing in a manned spacecraft. It's really special.
But guys, after Artemis safely landed, the internet lit the fuck up, like there was so many conspiracy theories on how it was all faked and, all that kind of stuff, which leads it to be like, which I think begs the question, right? Like, is there always going to be doubt? Are people always going to be looking for proof? And why are we so negative? Is it just the fact that we're just negative? Or we've been burnt, we know something was fake in the past, so now everything is fake. You know what I mean? It was just surprising because there was just so much conspiracies around that.
Courtesy France 24 English and the government of France. Copyright 2026.
But the historic lunar flyby has inflamed a wave of conspiracy theories. Tell us more.
That's right, Mark. The Artemis II crew may have travelled to the dark side of the moon, but waiting here on Earth is the dark side of the internet, because all of the excitement around this mission has caused some old conspiracy theories to take off. So let's start with one that we've heard plenty of times before, that the entire thing is staged. Several internet users falsely claim to have proof that the astronauts were using a green screen. This photo was particularly shared online, showing the astronauts with a green screen behind them, and this video in particular was viral.
Let me just ask you, Anya, did you watch any of the coverage?
I did not personally.
Okay. Were you aware that it was occurring?
I found out later through the internet.
Well, I read your rundown. I mean, it was in the news. It may not have been on national TV, but I mean, it was like on the internet. I mean, if you look.
Yeah. I mean, I found out later on the internet, but like I didn't know until, later.
After the fact. Okay. What about you, John? Did you watch?
Embarrassingly, I did not follow it.
Okay.
Simply because, we lived through the first one. We're like, oh my God, been there, done that. It's
That's
and
fair
now
enough.
it seems like after that point, a lot of the NASA missions were about exploration, which is fascinating. It's kind of like the Enterprise, but I guess you can't really follow it for like 50 years, like follow Voyager for 50 years or something,
Well, and the thing is, it was a lot. I mean, even though 1970, what did we say? How many years ago was that? 40 something years ago. That was the plot of Capricorn when they were saying like everybody's lost. So there's like this speech at the beginning. I know you didn't see it thing, but the basic plot, Bernice already told us what it was, but they were saying that, everybody was like so psyched in 1969, half the world watched on TV, the first moon landing, and then nobody gave a shit. And that's why they had to, when they discovered this flaw in the thing, that's why they had to take the astronauts out and then fake the mission to Mars. And still public interest sucked, which is kind of what happened with Artemis. It's like, so, I mean, two very, very intelligent and educated people, Anurata representing one generation before us. John, you're my generation, and neither of you. Now, I've been a space freak, so I watched it, but I thought the coverage sucked. But you guys didn't even bother watching it. So
No,
and how
and
and 300 million other people didn't bother watching it. So
yeah, and another reason why I didn't really follow it was because for the longest time we had no interest in going to the moon whatsoever, and then all of a sudden China says it's going to the moon. Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
We're going to the moon now. It's like we're always, it's like a space race. We're always in a race with, if it's not Russia, it's some other country. I mean, like,
well, and part of it was they wanted to go to Mars. And so Elon Musk and Barack Obama and all these other guys ginned up this whole thing idea. Donald Trump jumped in, we got to go to Mars. We got to go to Mars. And then everybody said, well, we can't just go to Mars. We got to test some shit out, right? We got to go back to the moon, figure out how to do this again, start, and then we'll launch from the moon to Mars rather than the Earth to Mars. And the Earth is a much more gravitational problem, right? So that was part of it too, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in a Mars in following a Mars mission, definitely, but it's just it's kind of like, geez, the moon. I mean, how many times did we do that? And like suddenly we're going to do it again. Yeah, okay.
We did it 6 times, and then and that was the problem. Was like, first of all, you have the greatest TV ratings in the world, and then you have the shittiest TV ratings in the world 6 years later. So it's like, okay, I saw the guys. Look, it's all dirt. I get it. With the flag, with the wire thing.
Watch how they start to put AI aliens and shit to make it look more interesting.
Well, maybe we'll have to do some of that. So you want to do some of that first? I know. Don't you give lectures to people about AI? Okay. Hey, man.
You never know what they'll do to boost up ratings, but I'll boost up the ratings naturally. There are a couple of people I'll send to Mars. Make sure that they have a one-way ticket over there.
No, I remember a girlfriend of mine at the time, we had a big party and this is in the late 90s or 2000 or something. So, I mean, we've landed the United States, remote Mars missions, but they say, okay, we send a satellite out there, whatever. But this particular time they had a rover and they had live broadcasts, and the amount of time that it took, it was like a 10-minute delay, but the rover was going, going all over the landscape, which didn't look all that much different than the moon, except there was a bunch of rocks and it was red. But I mean, it was broadcast live, and that was big news, even though there was no people. It was an unmanned mission. So I don't know why anybody thinks there's a reason to go to Mars. I mean, haven't we been there enough? There's no fucking thing there. So,
but did it?
And there's and then we saw The Martian with Matt Damon, which was a great movie, and he was like, "There's no fucking thing here." Right, he had to grow his own potatoes, using his own piss.
I don't know why I thought there was someone I read somewhere where people are trying to research where could we potentially live if not Earth, and Mars was one of them. I don't know where I read that.
Baby, you can look into it and watch Did you watch The Martian with Matt Damon?
It's
about
did
a guy
a
stranded
while
on
ago.
Mars.
I did a while ago. I watched that one, and then I watched Interstellar, which made me bawl my eyeballs out.
I love Interstellar. It balls my eyeballs out too.
I'm actually very curious to see what John thinks about Hans Zimmer, but we'll talk about that later.
About what?
Hans Zimmer.
Well, do you have to know now what I think?
No,
no.
Now, John.
Oh, Hans Zimmer. Yeah. Please, John, please, no. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think,
Proceed.
his stuff seems to work, interestingly, like my favorite Hans Zimmer score is the Sherlock Holmes movie, the first Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr.
Not
And it's
Pirates of the
just
Caribbean.
no, it's this. You know the movie. It's got Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, and they
Yeah,
play Holmes and
absolutely.
Watson. Yeah,
Oh
Zimmer wrote the
yeah.
score to that, and it's really kind of quirky, and
It
it
is.
has a lot of kind of folksy indigenous instruments, and it's just kind of like it's rustic, but something's askew about it. It's like the game's afoot. And
It
it's
does
really
feel
great.
weird. I mean, when I watch it, I'm like, is this appropriate? I mean, I guess I'm expecting, something more, suggestive of the 19th century or whenever it takes place, so.
Yeah, well, this was like, I thought this music was very suggestive of the, like the London, the Liverpool ghetto of the early industrial revolution, like in London, it was very dystopian, and yet it was rural, it was rustic, it was like the music of the people, but it was still very unsettling and intriguing, I thought.
But didn't he also do the score? And you mentioned Interstellar. And,
he did it there.
That scene. I mean, didn't he do the score for that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. That was good. That was.
I mean, he was
that's why I cried my balls out. I mean, my eyeballs.
That scene when he comes back from the planet and they've lost 25 years on Earth.
Oh my God.
Matthew McConaughey. Oh my God, I want to cry even just thinking about it. Is watching all those videos. I'm on the floor crying.
Fucking books. The books are falling because he's knocking them over, and his daughter's like,
"Oh yeah." That was.
But that score made it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was so fucking simple. He had a whole fucking orchestra at his disposal, and it's like, what did he have? Like four guys?
4 chord changes. He had 4 chord changes. And he just used the hell out of them.
And I always say John. Now, John is a brilliant composer. Is the new Hans Zimmer? Now he hasn't.
Hans Hoekstra.
Hans Williams, John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith. This is the new guy. He hasn't been discovered yet, but you know what? Some guys don't get discovered till later. But
yeah, like 100 years after their death.
I'm not saying you're Van Gogh. I can't kill myself. So. Okay.
Actually, you know who was a freaking genius who did not get enough credit? And I literally want to blow him up now. I want everybody to go out and listen to him like a million times. Beethoven actually didn't get enough credit. He was a genius.
What?
He was
Beethoven?
He was fantastic.
Beethoven doesn't get enough credit. Well, he does now. Maybe like
the people. So it's so crazy.
Wasn't
because
he famous in his time, John?
I thought he was. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
they let him do all this stuff.
When they found out that he was getting deaf, he hid it. Because people really started to disrespect him. They would not hire him for things, so he hid it, and he created probably one of the most
able
amazing
to listen to the vibrations of music. I mean, he came up with a workaround.
And he created one of the most amazing, one of the most perfect sonatas ever, being deaf, and it just made me
Didn't
cry.
he do Symphony 9 while he's deaf?
Yeah.
Which is one of his best. Yeah. I mean, it's like
what pisses me off is the disrespect that happened. When Beethoven passed, they didn't even give him a decent burial. And I just remember that stood out.
With the history,
I was obsessed with Beethoven. I picked up the piano because of Beethoven. I was obsessed. I mean, Mozart, everyone great, whatever, but I was obsessed with Beethoven. And I just felt like he just didn't get the respect that he deserved. So I have been doing my due diligence.
Interesting perspective.
Blasting him up now on my Instagram and getting people into it. And it's so crazy because the generation now, they're like, who's this? I've never heard of him
Wow.
before.
Yeah, I
So
guess I just take it for granted that everybody knows Beethoven. You know,
I
like
wish,
I think
they
if we
did.
went
I
into a
wish they did.
shopping mall in Middle America and asked people, "What is your here's $10 if you can tell me a classical composer," I think they would say either Beethoven or Mozart, right? Because
They
there've been
would
so many
say,
movies.
to be
They wouldn't
honest,
say-
I mean, it
they wouldn't
depends on
say
who you ask.
Schubert. Pardon
It
me?
depends on who you ask, because
I'm saying
there are some
walk
real
into a
idiots out
shopping
there.
mall, not walk into a university, walk into a shopping
yeah,
mall
yeah.
where you have average people and just ask them, or go on the street in a town, and the way, Jay Leno used to, and say, here, or Billy Eichner, this is, here's $10. Oh, here's 3 pictures. Which one is the White House? And like nobody would know what the White House would look
But that's the
like.
bad part. I would not want to do this experiment because it would make me sad. I feel like some people would say some really stupid shit. They'd be like, oh, my favorite composer is Taylor Swift. Like, they would say some stupid shit like that. They wouldn't actually know, like, okay, yeah, this is. And classical music is so amazing and so wonderful, but unfortunately, I just feel like it doesn't have that thing. You know what I mean? Like, people pick up the violin or that kind of thing in school, and then a lot of the times they don't kind of move past and develop that love for classical music. I did, because I just gravitated towards that. I used that to study because I had problems studying and all that stuff, and I was obsessed with Beethoven. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you ask people who's Beethoven, they'll probably think it's the dog. There's a dog named Beethoven.
oh, right.
There
They'd be
was
like,
a
oh
movie.
yeah, the dog.
Yeah,
So
the dog,
it sucks. So everyone do your part, spread the word of classical music, and we'll be okay.
Give Beethoven a shout out. All right,
Give
we'll
Be-
do. We'll do.
Ludwig,
Okay, so
love you. Sorry, getting back
steering
to the
back
subject.
to the topic.
We were out there in space
We were
somewhere.
out there in space, and it's like, Mars? Where's Mars? Oh, shit, we're on our way to Saturn. So, guys, 58 years of this continuous space program conspiracy stuff doesn't seem to be going away, as demonstrated this spring with Artemis. What are your conclusions? Can you sum this up for? Is this going to be with us forever? What do you think, Anirudh?
I feel like people are going to create more and more things why it's a conspiracy, and why, like, it didn't actually, like, I just feel like there are going to be more and more videos created, that kind of thing. And it's interesting because I just feel like there's a quote, and I'm like, I have a brain fart right now. I don't remember the quote, but it's like, where there's the smoke came from, I don't know, where there's fire, there's smoke,
Where
something
there's
like that.
smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Right? Is that
So
Is that
it
the saying?
came from somewhere. Yeah. And so it came from somewhere. It started from somewhere, and it's just like built into this huge thing. And if it's not a conspiracy, then I do feel bad, because people worked really hard to accomplish that milestone. And like, we're just like, it's a fake, but I mean, if it is if it actually did not happen, then it's just kind of like, then what the hell, dude? Like, why did we do all this shit to, like, fake an accomplishment that we didn't actually do, so those are my thoughts.
Can I just interject one thing? So in terms of going back to this controversy, the number of people that were involved in the Apollo program were thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, when you include the contractors, right? And we have seen numerous times that it only takes one whistleblower to bring down a giant empire. We saw this with the Enron, energy company. We saw this in Watergate. 7 human beings on planet Earth knew that Nixon ordered the break-in. Only 7, and they were all his friends. They were all his employees. They had everything to lose. And when they cracked, Only 7 guys. 7 guys had to keep their fucking mouths shut. Okay, now
shut up.
And they didn't. Now, okay, how can you say, like 50,000 guys and not one guy blew the whistle? Not one guy. All they had to do was have a memo. You know, how much would that be worth? It's like, oh, great, you're paying me $25,000 a year. I could get $1 million if I took this to NBC. And they didn't, if such a memo existed. So, what do you think? Does that make you less?
Maybe they did, but.
Ooh,
okay,
good point.
Okay, well,
good point. There are lots of those tales. There are lots of those.
That's the plot of Capricorn 1, which we talked about earlier, where they were going to fake the mission, and then the mission got fucked up, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, oh, God. So the guys, you know, they couldn't, like, well, we better kill the astronauts because they can't be alive because the thing crashed. So, and then everybody associated with it has to die too. Right. And so the assassins are like, bum, 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 bum. And by the way, John, I mean, that was a big inspiration for Behold a Man.
I think that these types of conspiracies about space exploration are always going to be with us. Because it still has that interesting twist of the conspiracy theme that it's now you're saying that something that we all commonly accept never took place. And what gives that variation a lot more traction these days are generative AI and deep fakes and just the 50% of the discourse that we see on the internet now are just chatbots talking to each other, and they're saying things that are very inflammatory and very like insightful to get clickbait. So that's not. I think the computer is going to be like an inexhaustible source of conspiracy theories.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
Good point. So, is there anything we didn't talk about that you guys wanted to talk about that I didn't include in the rundown?
I want to talk about Beethoven.
Other than Beethoven, yeah.
Never mind. I forgot we did that. Yeah.
Talk about Schubert, but oh well. So
honestly, I feel like if they put something where I can see aliens, I will watch that shit more.
You mean like real aliens?
Like real aliens. Like if they can capture real aliens and, show us. I mean, they show it sometimes like, oh, spotted on Mars, and then you see the person like moving like this, and they say it's like an alien. I want to see some real shit.
Well, on your order, we did that episode with Maria. Just, I don't know.
I know that, but I'm talking about like if NASA will invest and actually show us real aliens, or if these idiots behind freaking Area 51 will actually, let us see what's in there, then maybe I'll watch more freaking space stuff.
Wow.
You don't like all the stuff that Trump released. You don't think that's? I mean, it's all spaceships, in the air and stuff like that. But that doesn't like make you feel.
Like, I don't. Were there
actual
pictures
guys?
Of the aliens? No, I want to see actual pictures of the aliens. I want to see like actual aliens. I want to see.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point, Anurata. And you know who else made the exact same point that you're making right now was Neil deGrasse Tyson. He basically said the exact same thing that you're saying. He said, "It's fine if it's real. Show us the aliens. Is that asking too much?" He's like, "How complicated could it be if you're hiding him? Just show them to us,
Exactly. Like, I want to see, you know what I mean? Like, why are we hiding the good stuff? And this is exactly what I said in our last episode with that wonderful lady. Like, why are we hiding this? You already, disclose the stupidest shit that nobody cares about, or stuff that you shouldn't even really technically disclose, and you're hiding all these other stuff that people actually should know. We should know what's among us. We should be able to see aliens. We should be able to do that. Like, we're not dumb. We know they're out there,
Well, would it shed any light to know that the first account of a spaceship crash landing near Roswell, New Mexico, was actually the
1947.
remnants.
Yeah.
Huh?
1947.
Yeah, was actually the remnants of, a very experimental high altitude spy balloon that the Air
Mhm.
Force was working on. It was called Project Mogul. And when it crash landed, it had all the really kind of shiny silvery mirror like surface to it, and that's actually what it turned out to be. It was just something that they didn't want other people knowing about, particularly not the
yeah, we
Russians.
covered this in an episode we played like a month ago.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so yeah, because it was a top secret project. There's all kinds of top secret shit going on in New Mexico, and starting with the first atomic bomb, everybody. So, but lots of other fighter plane stuff and stuff like that. And then that was just a big, massive fuck up where the thing crashed in some guy's farm, and then they're inviting over the press and shooting stuff, and people were saying there was a guy in it. There actually wasn't a guy. There was maybe a mannequin or something in case it could support the weight of a human, blah, 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 blah. And the cover up, just like Watergate, the cover up was worse than the crime, right? So, yeah. And people, like, if you go to New Mexico, when's the last time you were in New Mexico, John?
The last time, gosh, I must have been like 12 or something. Yeah.
Okay. So you fly into Albuquerque, which is, I think, their one major airport. Okay. The whole airport is like alien shit. Roswell, giant inflatable green, every fucking thing. Now, Roswell is kind of out there. It's like 50 or 100 miles away from Albuquerque and from White Sands, where they exploded the first atomic bomb. But that is the place. That is the place. I mean, if you're going there as a tourist, you're probably going to go to Roswell. And everything in Roswell, and it's sort of like a little beach town, it's sort of like Martha's Vineyard, except instead of, or Nantucket, instead of like, quaint little seafood shops, you're going to get all kinds of alien museums and alien this and alien that, and people walking down the streets dressed as aliens, which is awesome. But it's bullshit.
Hey, it beats, as far as the Air Force is concerned, it beats everybody really knowing what's going on there,
Well, look, thank you, everybody. Thank you, John, for coming back. We love you so much. You are the best.
Thanks for having me.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Please follow or subscribe to Scandal Sheet on your favorite pod platform and share it with all your friends. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a shameless, over-the-top rave review on Apple Podcasts especially. That helps us build audience. And we would really appreciate it if you could support us on Patreon, where you can enjoy premium bonus content for less than the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Just go to patreon.com/scandalsheet. Also, we want to hear from you. You can reach us online at Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Or just send us an email to scandalsheetpod@gmail.com. See you next time on Scandal Sheet!
Copyright 2026, Thad Helsley Media, LLC, all rights reserved. Thad Helsley Media produces not only podcasts for clients, but also custom videos, animations, and explainers for businesses, nonprofits, government, authors, and literally anyone that has a message or cause they want to promote. Contact us at any of the numbers in the liner notes. Thank you for your support.